UD, who do we trust in that? You got OKC, they're home, they're young.
Great question.
Indiana, they've got, there just seems to be a little magic about them. Who do you trust with all the pressure in the world of a Game 7 on them on Sunday night?
I trust Indiana. I've been with Indiana this whole time, and this team has kind of thrived in that chaos. I mean, this is a team that has built the habits of being an underdog. This team has built the habits of having small windows of opportunities and little opportunity to make mistakes. They're a great coach. They have leadership. They have toughness. They're in the locker room. They have grit. And they understand how they win basketball games. They have very little room for error. They have to share the ball offensively, and that they have to play harder than the other team. They understand who they are. They understand their identity.
Hey guys, this is the most excited I've been for a basketball game in a long time, a Game 7, because I don't know who to trust. I have zero clue, UD. I hear you, UD. And then if Tyrese Halliburton were to disappear, would any of us be shocked?
No, it's true.
Right? Like, or this game slowed down and then SGA got, like, I wouldn't be shocked on that way either. I honestly do not know what to think about this series
It is so
going
true.
into a Game 7, which is why I will be glued to the television.
And while you also know that the last, like you just saw the numbers, this is going to be a close game. It's going to be a grinder, right? It's not going to be an up and down. It is going to be a grinder. You know, the last 5 minutes of this game, there's two guys to watch. Tyrese Halliburton and SGA. The MVP, by the way, at home, in his own building. He's got to make shots. There is immense pressure on him. We don't like doing it. We like saying it's a team sport. But this guy's the MVP, and that game's in your building. I don't care how old you are. You have played a ton of playoff games already in your career. This is the biggest moment of his career, and it could also decide how we start deciding where he fits when it comes to this generation of talent.
What do you think, Keith? Who do you trust in this game for all the marbles?
I'm going to go with UD on this one, man. I really trust Rick Carlisle. That's my main thing.
Yep,
But
there you go.
like I've said before, man, it's the turnovers. If Indiana cannot turn the ball over and get quality shots, they're going to put themselves in prime position to win this game. Like I said before, OKC has been averaging 25 points off turnovers. You know that's the highest since 1997. Like, they really thrive in scoring off turnovers. So if they take care of the ball and can create great attempts, they could be in this game, and I could see them winning this game.
Keith doing research. I like that very much.
Stats,
I'll give you another one. I'll give you another number.
You got to come with something, Greeny.
I like it. UD, let me give you one more quickly here. The average score, I mentioned there have only been 4 Game 7s in the last 35 years in the finals. The average final score of those games is 88 to 84. They've been very, very low scoring. Pressure takes it, kicks in and all that kind of stuff. It's heavily influenced by that one between San Antonio and Detroit, where the final score, one of the teams scored in the 70s. But anyway, that's been the average final score. If the game is low scoring, does that favor OKC, the defensive team that wants to slow it down? If history repeats itself in that regard, does that favor OKC?
Mm-hmm. Now I'm with Jay Will on that. I don't know what to say about that one because you would like to believe that history will repeat itself, and in a slow-paced game that will play to the favor of OKC. But, I mean, you look at what T.J. McConnell has been able to do in the half court. You look at what Pascal Siakam has been able to do in the half court. Indiana has figured out where to go in the half court. And please, if one thing I can say to OKC, stop playing soft to soft on TJ McConnell, please.
Oh, my
goodness.
goodness.
Him 5 steps.
Thank you.
Yeah, soft to soft.
Thank you.
He is getting downhill every time and attacking you. You have to push up and make him go one way. Because if you're going to play soft to soft, he's going to get wherever he wants to go. And he's going to pull up like he left his phone, and you're going to get back on defense saying, damn, what we need to do to stop him. You're not guarding him properly. Stop guarding him like that. I'm tired of watching that.
UD, I just want us to think about what we just spoke about, what you just said. If it comes down to the half court, the best option for the Pacers over the last 2 games has been T.J. McConnell.
Yes.
It's been T.J. McConnell.
And by the way, how many outlet passes does he intercept?
He's
how
everywhere.
many
He's a
times
pest.
does he
Inbound
get in the way?
passes too, yeah.
He really is. He's a pest.
He's a guy at 24-hour fitness. You're like,
immaturity.
stop, get off me,
in the
man.
best possible way. By the way, I have a Seeing Green odds boost. UD, how about it? The pressure of a Game 7. It is enormous. They are very rare. We just showed you the last one in the NBA Finals was 9 years ago. There have only been 4 Game 7s in the last 35 years. The pressure is extraordinary here. How do you think that impacts these two teams, UD?
I think it impacts OKC negatively because the historical season that they have, the MVP, the Finals MVP. But on the other side, I look at Indiana. I think this is how they've been living. They've been living in this chaos. They've been living under pressure. They've been living with the expectation that nobody expects them to win. So this is a situation that they've thrived in. They'll walk into that arena confident. Maybe the only people that believe that they can win is the Indiana Pacers and Coach Carlisle and their fans, but they'll walk in that arena confident. So I think Game 7 actually helps Indiana. They're more confident. They believe that they're the tougher team, that they got more grit, and that they can outlast, the OKC. But I think OKC is definitely going to come back and they're going to play better and they're going to be their best version. And I think we're going to get Game 7 where both teams bring their best version. We've seen one team impose their will and the other team break. We've seen the other team impose their will and the other team break. I think both teams are going to bring their best version. And like you said earlier, Alan, it's going to come down to the stars at the end, Tyrese Halliburton and SGA. One thing I will say is the Indiana's made an adjustment. SGA is not playing one-on-one basketball anymore. Anytime he comes off a pick and roll, that big has moved up. They've taken away that lane for him to get downhill. And on the sideline, they're pressuring him and blitzing him. And when he's going against a guard, they're keeping two on the ball, making him throw that ball back to Casey Wallace and those other guys getting a lake and test. That is another trick, that is another X and O thing that Tricky Ricky has made that has helped impact them defensively.
Well, so follow up on that thought, though, UD. So what does that mean? What does SGA have? Because he has, I know he scored a lot of points in that Game 4, but he's had almost no assists. He had a very tough night last night, obviously. The turnover numbers are high. What's the key there? If Indiana does that, then he does what?
Well, I think you got to keep him out of that pick and roll on the sideline because if you put him on that sideline, they're definitely going to trap him and you use that sideline as an extra defender. In the middle, you can put him in the pick and roll, but they're putting two to the ball. So when you throw back, those guys like Aaron Wiggins and those guys like Casey Wallace, they got to make shots. I believe you bring the ball up the side and you just let him go to that ISO on the sideline and where he can see everything. You get guys cutting down the middle. You get a guy cut, you spray, and you make a pass. But right now, SGA is not playing one-on-one, whether he's in the pick and roll or he's in that mid-post area.
Yeah, and look, I mean, J-Dub, he scored 40 points the other night. Last night, his plus-minus was minus 40. So life comes at you fast in the NBA Finals. OKC never loses back-to-back games. We've had that stat over and over and over again, Markieff, but this one felt different. Do the Pacers bring legitimate momentum on the road with them into Game 7 in a way that you think matters Sunday night?
Of course. Every game that they've played on the road, they've been in the game. Obviously, Game 2 was the only different game where they was almost getting blown out, right? Just because OKC just lost a close Game 1. Other than that, they've been playing well. The thing is the bench and the turnovers. OKC bench plays so much better when they're at home. They're so much looser. They're scoring the point. They're scoring the ball. It's the same thing for Indiana. When they're on the road, their guys are not playing as well, as confident scoring the basketball, right? So it's an accumulation of both things. What bench are we going to get in the game? Is Indiana going to take care of the ball? Is OKC going to score points on turnovers? These are things that has to happen for both of these teams to win.
Jay, you're going to be leaving us shortly here to go over and do First Take in a couple of minutes. So what will you be watching early in Game 7? What will decide it?
My thing is it's going to come down late to Game 7, and I'm going to give you a throwback line, and I wrote it down because my man Max Kellerman said it, and to give him a shout out for what he said. I mean, look, open shop, face of the universe on the line. The Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth. I'm taking Hallie down the stretch, man. To make a shot in this playoffs, with what the body of work that I've seen him in critical moments.
So if the game comes down
to that, I mean, look, you gave the reference about NBA Finals coming down to single-digit wins over the history of that,
in
right?
Game 7s, yes.
So if we get to a Game 7, it's a critical moment. You ask the question, who are you going to trust more, Hallie or SGA? With the body of work I've seen, what the Hallie all the way.
Confidence comes from demonstrated performance, and you saw it in Game 1. Stole the game.
Does it get tighter at home too, UD? I mean, you've been in these huge games all those many times, those Miami teams and everything else. Sometimes it feels like the pressure, if the game is close, like if OKC if they clamp down defensively and the game gets one-sided, that's one thing. But if this game is there to be decided in the fourth quarter, sometimes it feels like the energy of the home crowd in the building can work against you. How about that, the pressure on OKC in this Game 7?
I definitely think if the game gets close, it can definitely tighten up OKC a little bit because I look at what Indiana's been able to do with Rick Carlisle. He's been able to settle those guys. He's been able to get those guys in sets. He's been able to get those guys comfortable in situations. So if it comes down close, I'm giving the advantage to Indiana, but not just because of the players, because of Rick Carlisle and that coaching staff and guys that have been there before. When you look over in Thunder, yes, they have one guy that's won a championship, but it's one guy that won a championship in the bubble. There's a completely different situation when you have a crowd out there, you have people cheering, everybody's going crazy. And I'm not taking nothing away from that ring that Caruso got. A ring is a ring, and the bubble was the purest form of basketball. But I will say, I would never do that.
He's mad. Oh, Keith.
You took my ring. I lost to y'all. You took my ring.
The reality is, obviously, there was no home court advantage or disadvantage in that scenario. Look, I always go back to my days covering the Bulls. Phil Jackson always said he would much rather play a big game on the road than play it at home. Jay Will's on his way to go do first take. Win Allen, come on in here if you will. Are we in for a classic Game 7 as we look forward to Sunday night? That's the big question here. Who do we have the eye on? Udonis Haslem. Who's the player, if someone is going to join that list, who's the player you're looking for to have that kind of night on Sunday night?
Oh, man, this is a tough one. But, I mean, even if he doesn't play to 100%, even if he doesn't play a lot of minutes, you see the impact that Tyrese Halliburton has on this team when he's just on the floor. He was electrifying, just being aggressive, getting downhill, getting other guys involved. I've been picking the Pacers the whole time. I'm going to stick with the Pacers. He's probably not their best player. I think that's Pascal Siakam, but he's their most important player. So I'm going to go with Tyrese Halliburton. He's the guy I'm going to keep my eye on. I want to see if he's getting down here early. I want to see if he's pushing the pace. I want to see if he's aggressive, because also if he's aggressive, that helps him get other guys involved because he's a threat to score first and foremost.
Who's the player to watch in Game 7, Markeith?
I would say Jalen Williams from OKC, right? If he comes out with the spark he's had, not last game, but the two games before that, or just the entire finals, I think it would be Jalen Williams. I think he has to come out and set the tone because, right, when he comes out and he's taking 20-plus shots and he's looking for his shot over and over, that makes him a better team. So I'm going to go with Jalen Williams on this one.
Fascinating juxtaposition. In Game 5, he scored 40 points. Last night, his plus-minus was minus 40. So I like that take. As J-Dub goes, so go the Thunder. How about you, Alan? Who's the player you're watching Sunday night?
It's the MVP. It's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You're playing at home. You're the MVP. The last time an MVP lost in a Game 7 was the last time we had one in the finals is in 2016. It was Steph Curry. But he was playing against another MVP in LeBron James. There's no other MVP in this series. You're at home. You're the MVP. You cap off one of the great seasons an individual player can have by winning at home and getting this championship locked up and not losing on your home floor against an Indiana Pacers team that does not have a LeBron James.
So, Cindy, let's show everyone just how rare a treat we get on Sunday night with the back-to-back full screens if we can. Game 7s this Sunday will be the 20th in NBA Finals history. You think about how long the league has been around. In the last 35 years, there have only been 4. This will be just the 5th in the previous 35 years, and they're always close. The average margin of victory is 7 points. The last 8 Game 7s have been decided by single digits. The last double-digit Game 7 was the Celtics over the Bucks in 1974. So put the picks up on the screen once and for all. UD, why does Indiana win on Sunday night?
Their backs have been against the wall the whole season. I think this team understands who they are. They understand their identity. They have very little room for error. They're very well coached. They have a locker room leader and presence. Their leader kick ass, take names, hold guys accountable. They have guys that star in their role. I'm a guy who's been an underdog my whole life. I've been in those locker rooms where nobody gives you a chance in hell to win. So I love being aligned with those guys. So I'm going with the Indiana Pacers.
And so you see the picks that are up there on the screen. Winman, I'll give you the final word. You don't make picks, but you obviously see all of this. What will you be watching most closely? What will decide Game 7?
In the game of basketball, in one-game settings, the team with the best player usually wins. This will be my 4th Game 7 I've had the chance to cover. The previous 3, I watched Kobe get it done, and I watched LeBron get it done. If Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to join the list of the all-time greats, he gets it done in this game. He's the best player. I'm going to watch and find out.
That's really well put. That's really well framed. It all comes down to this after what has been a long and surprising at times, confounding postseason. We get Game 7 of the finals. Halliburton's Pacers, SGA's Thunder, Sunday night, 8 Eastern on ABC, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Our coverage will tip with NBA Countdown at 7:30. But for this morning, our coverage...
How's it going, everybody? Villa Sports Network here. Just want to thank you guys for your support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Also want to kind of remind you to don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on the video if you like as well. But regardless of the fact, thank you again for your support, and hope to see you on the next video.